Hey guys, Hydrohead here. This is the Costa Bagley run of Venom. I actually think, at least going by the way this ends, I think this is the end of it. Doesn't really say anything like that, or like 5 of 5 or anything along those lines. Maybe it's not though. If it is the end, it's a good ending. I did, I must have missed issue number 4. I thought I was getting these every week, but I must have missed a week because I have no idea what was going on. It seemed like a bunch of stuff happened between the last issue and this one, so I should probably pay closer attention. But anyway, it's by Costa, Bagley, Diaz, Hennessy, Almada. So this does not pick up right where we left off. This actually picks up, I would assume, an issue after. Eddie's gotten his symbiote back. Our scroll chick has actually been wearing his child, which is interesting. I wonder how much of this I can really talk about without giving it away. I'm just going to hope that everybody who is interested in actually reading this has already been reading it. But we got some good space fights going on. The art is staying pretty good. It's good. I like it. And where this issue is basically happening is they're trying to get away from the what was the first host's name? This Kree guy right here. They're trying to get away from him. They managed to get the symbiotes back, but they don't want to get captured again. At the same time, the Kree Empire is destroying these vessels because they want to kill these symbiotes off because they're too much of a risk. Also, they're not a big fan of that dude. They think he's a bit of an asshole. She looks good with the symbiote stuff. That's pretty neat. But basically, they do manage to escape the explosion. We're left to believe that the Kree soldier who originally took the symbiote actually died in the explosion. It was a close escape for our main crew. But Eddie takes his child. He separates from the Kree chick who basically tells him she never wants to see him again because he's a big hassle to deal with. And then Eddie goes back to where before the symbiote was being kept, not really in captivity, but for research. And he goes back to tell her, to tell Liz Allen, forgot her name for a second there, but to tell Liz that he's not bringing the symbiote back. Her husband, who used to be the Green Goblin, won't let him in, says that Liz doesn't want to see him anymore. Husband is Harry Osborn. Liz Allen, Harry Osborn. Of course, why would they take on their last name? Anyway, Harry's being kind of a dick to Eddie, but Eddie asks him if he wants to go out to drink, and feels like he can connect with him because they were both Spider-Man villains, and they both changed their ways because of family. It felt kind of forced and stupid. Kind of funny wisecracks back and forth, but overall, this was kind of a dumb little portion. But basically, he just tells him that, look, now that you actually have family, you have something worth living to, that's really the only reason you need to do what you're doing, which works for Eddie. So he goes back home. He's basically made up his mind on what he's going to do and where he's going to be, and that's when we run into that super soldier, the Kree. He's back and he's ready to kill that kill Eddie's child to get back at him. He also wants to use a biological weapon that's going to destroy all of humanity, and it's going to be using Eddie's DNA as the base. That way, Eddie's bloodline is what's responsible for the destruction of mankind. Which is a pretty diabolical way to get your revenge on this dude. He tries to blow it up. Eddie's child manages to break free, capture the bottle before it can shatter. There is quite a bit of fighting going on. This scene right here is fantastic. Eddie tackles him out the window. They hit the ground. The Kree is telling him that he's got no chance against him. He's stronger, faster, better, and Eddie's just some dude without his suit. And Eddie's like, I'm not just some guy, I'm a New Yorker. And the Kree gets slammed with a taxi. And then Eddie proceeds to beat the hell out of him with anything he can get his hands on. About that same time, as the Kree finally starts to get back on his feet, pausing for a moment, if you'd like the free digital copy, I'll give that to you now. All right, then. That's marvel.com/redeem this number. That'll get you a free comic. First one, first serve. As per usual, I have no idea if anybody actually takes these. Nobody's really ever said anything. So, have at it. But as the Kree finally starts to get the upper hand on Eddie again, that's when his child, the symbiote, drops down and lobotomizes the Kree. Straight up destroys his synapses and turns him into a walking host. Just a brainless, dead walking host. Eddie is like horrified by this and is trying to explain that this isn't what he wanted from him. But the other symbiote's like, look, I can get all this knowledge and information and strength from him, and I can finally go out and find myself. You did the best you could with what you had, but it's time for me to be free. Tell our other parent I said thanks. And then he disappears. That's when we get this, I guess you could say, touching ending with Eddie and the symbiote basically saying that they're to be together forever. Now, this is where the whole part about canon comes into play. So, in one storyline, the Kate Stegman run, we have Eddie and the symbiote almost dying, and the symbiote does die. They show him dead. So by comic lore, they show the death. He should be good and gone forever. In this one, on the other hand, we get the Eddie and his symbiote, and they have to give up their child, and then they are happy. Well, they find solace in the fact that they'll be together forever. So if these two stories are both canon, then that means this one has to have happened beforehand, which means that Eddie and the symbiote finally came to a 100% cohesive agreement just so the symbiote could be murdered and Eddie be left alone again. So if this continues, this is going to be about a broken, well, not this one, but if the Stegman run continues, it's going to be about a broken man who can't get his fix, essentially, and it's going to be a very, very sad, disappointing story. If this one continues, I imagine it'll just be more of Venom being a hero. I really do wish they would let you know what was an Elseworld story and what wasn't, though. But there are a lot of things Marvel could do to fix their shit, and they have no intention of it, so no use bemoaning the impossible. Alright guys, thanks for watching. That's basically all I have to mutter on about. Hail Hydra.